Welcome to the deep dive. This time, we're getting our hands dirty in the kitchen, talking all about bamboo cutting boards.
Ooh, bamboo cutting boards, one of my favorite topics.
Right. There's just something about them,
Yeah.
They're everywhere these days. So we're going to cut through all the hype with expert speaker to see what makes them so special. Because we're not just talking about any old cutting board here.
Yeah.
We're talking about a material that can grow, get this, 3 feet taller in a single day.
It's incredible.
And on top of that, it's incredibly sustainable, like good for the planet kind of stuff.
Right, and that's something that I think a lot of people don't realize is just how big of an impact switching to something like a bamboo cutting board can make. I mean, just think about all the water that you save.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. I've been trying to be a little more eco-friendly in my kitchen.
Yeah.
But 3 feet in a day, come on now. Is that even real?
It is, it's true. Bamboo is actually a grass, not a tree.
Oh, okay.
And some species can grow at a shocking rate. We're talking up to a foot an hour.
A foot an hour.
It's ridiculous.
That's insane. It's like watching a plant grow in a time-lapse video, but in real life.
Exactly.
So not only is it crazy fast growing, but it's also naturally antimicrobial. Is that right? Or is that just like marketing speak?
So that is one of those terms that gets thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
But bamboo does have some really impressive natural properties. It's naturally resistant to moisture and bacteria, which makes it a more hygienic choice, especially compared to something like a traditional wood cutting board.
Which, when you think about it, all the stuff that we do on our cutting boards, like, that's pretty important.
It's true. You don't want to think about it too much, all the things that are going on your cutting board.
Exactly. So we know they can handle all that chopping and dicing, but are they actually durable? Because we've all had those flimsy plastic cutting boards that, you washed a few times and suddenly they're all warped.
Yeah, it's like you put it in the dishwasher once and it comes out a completely different shape.
Exactly. Is bamboo different?
It is. Bamboo is a powerhouse when it comes to durability. So there's something called the Jenka scale, which measures the hardness of wood.
Okay.
And bamboo scores really, really high on that scale. Like, surprisingly high. It even surpasses some hardwoods.
Oh, wow.
Which means it can withstand, years of chopping and slicing without showing too much wear and tear.
So it sounds like it's kind of the superhero of cutting board materials, right? It's strong, it's sustainable.
It is. That's a great way to put it.
I mean, what's not to love?
And on top of that, it doesn't require the same kind of intensive farming practices as a lot of hardwoods, which is another great thing about it. It thrives without pesticides, without fertilizers. It's incredibly water efficient.
Okay. So it's good for the planet. It can handle all of our chopping, slicing, and dicing needs.
Right.
But how do we choose the right bamboo cutting board?
Yeah.
Right? Because they're not all created equal.
No, definitely not. Choosing a cutting board, it's kind of like finding a good pair of shoes.
Okay.
It's all about finding the right fit for your needs.
I like that.
And just like shoes, bamboo cutting boards come in all shapes and sizes.
So walk us through it. What are our options?
All right, so let's say you're short on counter space, right?
Oh.
Or maybe you just need a board for smaller tasks, like slicing fruit or something.
Right.
A smaller board, something around like 8 by 10 inches, that's a good option. Like your chef's knife of cutting boards, always there for the essentials.
Small but mighty. Love it. Okay, so what about when you need something a bit more heavy duty?
Then you're talking about your medium-sized boards.
Okay.
Those are super versatile, usually like 12 by 18 inches. They're great for everyday chopping, dicing. You could even do some light carving on there. Really, the workhorse of the kitchen.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing. That's my kitchen sidekick right there. But for our listeners who are serious meal preppers out there, or maybe you've got a big family to feed, you're going to need something bigger.
Right, yeah. For those folks, you've got your large bamboo cutting boards, 18 by 24 inches, sometimes even bigger. Ambitious recipes, prepping for a crowd. You've got all the space you need.
So it's all about finding the right size for you.
And speaking of finding the right fit, what about those grooves that you see on some boards? Are those just for looks, or do they actually do something?
You're talking about juice grooves, and let me tell you, those are a lifesaver, especially if you're working with juicy ingredients. They catch all those runaway liquids. No more spills, keeps your countertops nice and clean.
Oh, I love that. No more chasing after rogue tomato juice.
Oh,
Okay, so I've also seen some boards out there with, like, handles. Some even have, like, built-in compartments. What's the deal with those? Are those just fancy extras, or do those actually serve a purpose?
They're more than just bells and whistles, believe me. Like handles, those are a game changer, especially for your larger, heavier boards.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Much easier to transport from counter to table. You can even hang it up for storage.
Ooh, it's like a built-in serving tray. I love it. And the compartments.
Compartments, those are a meal prepper's dream. You can keep all your prepped ingredients separate, no more flavor contamination.
That's smart. Chopping onions, garlic, herbs, all in their designated zones. Organized chaos.
I'm sold. I need a bamboo cutting board with all the bells and whistles now.
Okay, but before we get too carried away, let's talk about how bamboo actually compares to other cutting board materials.
Yeah.
Because there's wood, plastic, even glass out there. So how does bamboo stack up?
Okay, so you've got your classic wood cutting boards.
Right.
They're beautiful, they're durable, often made from hardwoods like maple or walnut,
Sure.
but they require a bit more upkeep. You've got to oil them regularly to prevent them from drying out, cracking.
So bamboo's looking pretty low maintenance so far.
Okay.
Okay, what about plastic? Because they're everywhere. I feel like they're probably the most common, maybe because they're so cheap.
Yeah, plastic's definitely lightweight, it's easy to clean, but not the most eco-friendly option.
Right.
Made from petroleum-based plastics, not biodegradable.
Okay.
And then you get those knife marks, which can harbor bacteria if you're not careful.
So not ideal.
Not ideal. Okay. Bamboo's winning on the sustainability front. What about glass? Because I've seen those popping up in kitchens lately, too. They look very sleek.
They do. They're definitely stylish and they're super easy to sanitize.
Right.
But the downside is they can really dull your knives quickly.
No, it's not good.
Yeah, because they're so hard. And they can be kind of slippery, which isn't what you want when you're dealing with sharp objects.
Oh, not at all.
Hmm.
Okay, so it sounds like bamboo really does strike that balance of style, sustainability, and it's practical. But here's something I found really interesting while we were doing research for this deep dive. So it turns out that bamboo cutting boards can be more than just cutting boards.
Oh, yeah.
People are using them as serving platters, wall decor, even DIY material.
It's true. Bamboo is super versatile.
Like the Swiss Army knife of the kitchen.
I like that.
So not only can it potentially, save the planet, but it can elevate our charcuterie game. I'm here for it. So with all this bamboo love, what's next? Are we going to start seeing even more bamboo products in the kitchen? Are we going to have bamboo countertops? I mean, the possibilities.
Bamboo countertops. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Bamboo's so hot right now.
Right.
And, people are definitely becoming more aware of their impact on the environment. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more bamboo in the kitchen and in some really innovative ways. There are companies out there already experimenting with bamboo-based composite materials, which are even stronger and more durable than traditional bamboo.
Wow, that's wild. So it's not just about replacing our cutting boards then. It's like rethinking what we can do with these sustainable materials.
Exactly. And it doesn't stop at countertops either. We could be talking utensils, bowls, even cookware made from bamboo in the future.
The future is bamboo. I love it. Okay, so before we go full bamboo everything in our kitchens, let's circle back for a second and address any common concerns that people might have about bamboo cutting boards. Is there anything that we haven't covered yet?
One thing that comes up a lot is food safety.
Yeah.
People want to know, are they safe for all types of food?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I've definitely wondered about that myself.
Yeah. And the answer is, generally, yes. Bamboo cutting boards are safe for all food types. Just like with any cutting board, it's always a good idea to use separate boards for raw meat and other ingredients, just to prevent any cross-contamination.
Good food safety tip. Always good to have a reminder about that. Okay, so let's talk about keeping our bamboo cutting boards clean and hygienic. How do we take care of them?
Bamboo is actually surprisingly low maintenance.
Okay, good.
But like anything else, a little TLC goes a long way. First things first, you always want to hand wash your bamboo cutting board. Never put it in the dishwasher.
Really? Why not?
Yeah. The heat and the harsh detergents, it can really do a number on those wood fibers.
Okay.
It can warp, it can crack. Hand washing is much gentler.
Okay, no more tossing it in the dishwasher for convenience.
Yep.
I got it. Hand wash only. What about drying?
After you wash it, make sure you dry it thoroughly with a clean towel, and then just let it air dry completely before you put it away. And it's good to store it upright, too. That way no water can seep in and cause any damage.
Okay, so no more leaving it in the sink to soak. Is there anything else that we should do to keep our bamboo cutting boards looking their best?
Oiling it regularly is key to preventing it from drying out and cracking. I recommend using a food-grade mineral oil
Okay.
because it doesn't have a scent or a taste, and it won't go bad.
Smart. How often should we be oiling our bamboo cutting boards?
Once a month is a good rule of thumb, or whenever you notice that it's looking a little dry. Just use a generous amount, cover the whole surface, let it soak in for a few hours, and then wipe off any excess.
Okay, easy enough. So we've talked about what bamboo cutting boards can handle. Are there any times when we should maybe avoid using them?
You want to be a little bit careful about putting anything really hot directly on a bamboo cutting board. Too much heat can damage the wood, and again, we're back to warping. Always best to use like a trivet or a hot pad.
Right, protect your surfaces. And even though bamboo is tough, it's not indestructible.
Right. It's strong, but you don't want to use it as a chopping block for things like bones or anything super hard.
Okay.
That kind of impact can eventually cause some damage, like deep grooves in the wood.
Okay, no bone-in ribeyes on the bamboo cutting board. Got it.
Exactly.
So I think we've covered pretty much everything. But for those listening who might still be on the fence about making the switch to bamboo, expert speaker, what's your final pitch? Why is it worth it?
For me, it really boils down to this. When you choose a bamboo cutting board, you're making an investment. You're investing in your kitchen, but you're also investing in the planet.
I love that.
It's such a small change,
Right.
but it can make such a big difference in the long run. You're getting this durable, beautiful, versatile cutting board that also happens to be a more sustainable option for the environment.
It's a win-win. And I don't know about you, but there's just something about a bamboo cutting board.
Right.
Like it just elevates the entire cooking experience.
It just feels nice.
Yeah, it feels nice. It looks nice. So next time you're whipping up a delicious meal in the kitchen, think about making the switch. It's just one small step towards a more sustainable lifestyle. And who knows? Maybe someday we'll look back and wonder why we were ever using anything else. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
At Nourishing Tapestry store we have a large range of bamboo cutting boards. Thanks for watching. Check us out at Nourishing Tapestry store. Like, subscribe.